my last words with them were like, yo, like, I love you. Everything's going to be okay. Because they were looking for him, you know. So I shook his hand, and 4 weeks later is when he would end up taking his own life.
All right, Xan, what's up, man?
Yo, what's up? Thanks for having me, man.
Of course. Who we got to your right over there? Introduce
man,
the boy.
We got the one and only Do-Rag Dev.
Do-Rag Dev, what's going on? You already know, gang.
Hey, yo, what's the brand, though?
The brand is Lil Xan. The name is Do-Rag Dev. The man is Lil Xan.
Lil Xan, the man. I had a song. It was like Lil Xan. I forgot I went.
Well, Xan, thank you for. You're a busy ass man. I wasn't sure this was gonna happen.
I knew it was gonna happen. I just lately, actually, I'm not busy. Just I've been becoming more responsible.
What caused that shift?
Growing up and getting off drugs.
That's a good combo. Growing up and getting off drugs
and getting off the bad stuff.
Well, pulling up to my shoot on time.
Yeah, I actually pulling up to things on time and shit.
All right, those are grown man moves, as they say, right?
I think they said the male brain is not done developing until 25.
Dude, and I was just listening to Rogan on that. He literally something cortex. I'm not smart enough.
And I swear to God, like the minute it hit midnight, I was like, I felt like an adult. I was like, oh shit, I'm an adult now. Well, I was an adult, but
now you're an adult.
Now it's real. Now I gotta pay taxes.
Oh Jesus, let's not talk about that. Well, actually, that's actually a good transition because the only thing more they say the only thing more imminent is death and taxes, right?
Death and taxes. I remember some old dude said that. I'm just fucking. I'm fucking with y'all guys. I'm not stupid. I'm not illiterate.
We ain't no one saying that.
The internet don't know anything.
But dude, so how often? I mean, we're talking about a topic that you correct me if I'm wrong. Is this something that your audience is normally hearing you talk about?
No, because you guys, what this podcast is, it's original. It's unique. You guys have a theme that like every podcast has a theme, but I've never seen a podcast where you talk about, losing close and dear friends and family, and it's cool. I mean, it's not cool to lose that, but it's cool to. It's original. It's original.
Yeah. It's cool to embrace it.
Yeah, it's cool to embrace it.
I mean, that's why we're here today. So I do want to thank you for, being willing to talk about it. That's the whole shit I'm trying to pull off right now, and I am pulling off. So to have your voice here and open up about that does mean a lot because I'm telling you, this is a conversation that anyone could talk about, whether you lost someone or not. So, I mean, you briefly kind of made
everybody's like lost somebody though.
Everyone.
Like, I mean, imagine like the one guy in the world that hasn't lost one dude.
Right.
He's living life.
They never had anyone.
Yeah, I don't think his brain's formed yet. So
I don't think that person's not alive yet.
So I don't know if you want to. You said your best friend, right?
What'd you say?
Your best friend is the one that
Sitgo. Yeah, I got it on my neck above my ex's name that I'm about to get removed. Sitgo though. He was my best friend. We grew up. It was around 18. We was kicking it. Yeah, good guy. I miss Sitgo, man. I made my first mixtape Sitgo. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah.
That's the next one, or
no? That was the first mixtape was Sitgo. Yeah.
Okay, so it was dedicated to him.
Yeah, it was dedicated.
And what happened with Sitgo?
With Sitgo, this was back when pressed pills like Xans, they either had just more Xanax in them, like the triple presses, double presses, or they were placebos, you know what I mean? But it wasn't fentanyl in them. But then I remember the first time, because I hate to say this, we sold Xans back in high school days, and we sold a lot of weed and Xans. We got I remember the first day we got a bad batch, and I went over to my homie's crib, and like because I did Xans back then, I was trying to pick up some Xans. And they looked like they had just been ran over by a bulldozer the night before. And I'm like, there's like puke on the floor and shit. And I'm like, y'all good? They're like, no, man, these Xans are just like super strong. Like, man, like, and I was thinking like, yo, I've never puked off a fucking Xan. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, there's something weird about this. And like, fentanyl's been around for a while, but it was a very niche thing for like medical practitioners and doctors and shit. So people didn't really know a lot about fentanyl. But then I took a quarter piece because I was like, they They didn't look like they had a fun night off the Xans, you know?
Yeah.
So I took a quarter piece, and it was the right amount because I didn't like get sick, but I felt like I was like coming like nonstop. Like that's how great I felt.
Like coming.
Yeah, like coming. Like it was that good of a feeling. Fentanyl. That was the only time I ever did fentanyl. I didn't know it was fentanyl, but I definitely knew. I was like, this is not Xan. You know what I mean? But then what happened was we sold
She just got bad.
It got yeah. That batch still got sold, unfortunately, because we still didn't know the dangers of what could happen. We were kids and stuff, but a couple of people died off of a couple of the batches that were sold, and he was wanted by the police. My house got raided. My other homie's house got raided, and his house got raided. But they were mainly looking after him because he was the one that had sold the actual ones that had killed him, or killed like a girl and put like a dude in a coma or something. Jesus. And then I remember picking him up, and I took him to the university right by my house, and it's that. My last words with them were like, yo, like, I love you. Everything's going to be okay. Because they were looking for him, So I shook his hand. And 4 weeks later is when he would end up taking his own life.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. And it sucks because there's like a video of it, too.
There's a video of it?
He didn't take the video. Someone was just filming across the street. And they didn't know. It's not their fault. Like, they didn't know he was going to pull out a gun and shoot himself. He was just in the middle of the street waving the gun, like a domestic call. So, and then he started just running real quick. And then, like, within a split second, he didn't even think about it. He just started running. And then I thought he was going to actually bust back at the cops, But and the cops didn't know he had a gun. He'd put it away. So they started, it's like instantly, like 3 seconds, starts running. Then just so quick. And that always makes me feel like, damn, bro, like, he just did it, like, was like if I would, like, I think a lot of us have suicidal thoughts. But, most people are afraid to act on them, And I've been suicidal before and same shit. I don't think I have the balls to kill myself, but I've gone through that. I still go through that sometimes, but like just the fact that like he did it within that split second, like, you know what I mean? Like he would have been getting out of jail right now at 25, my age, he would have still been young. And he would have been getting out to a whole dope ass life. Things went well, in the career pathway that I had chosen, and I would have took him along for the ride.
Well, Jesus, man, I'm sorry. That's
it's okay, man.
That's a heavy story, and especially the way you're saying he did it in regards to, I feel like, not that I'm the most savvy with suicide or I've had people in my life, but that seems so impulsive, like you said, in regards to, I feel like when someone kills himself, it's usually
that. This is where I was gonna go. Like if I did have the balls to kill myself, I'd have to be drinking off drugs, like holding the gun up to my head, like putting it down,
right?
Then like putting until I finally build up the guts to like just pull it, But he just boom, like crazy.
So what do you remember from? What did that do? Obviously, it fucks you up, but what did that do to you like immediately after, like days?
Well, you want to know what the crazy thing about it is? I got the news that had happened like probably like an hour after it happened because it was circulating through all my friends. I was on the way to pick up XXX and Ski Mask and Rojas from the airport, so I was excited to go pick them up. I was like a runner back then, but I was fan to them. And so, like, I had to pull over and cry. And I was like, damn, man. Like, I was so excited to like, go do this. Like, I was about to meet, like, my idols and shit. And I pulled over and cried. But then my homie, like, I had a good homie with me. He's like, we still got to do this, like, for him and shit, And then, yeah, it was hard for, like, 8-9 months at first, and then it's cool now. It's cool now. I love Sicko.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting when you say you, meaning kind of the general you. It's like it's cool now, but I talk to so many people, including my own experience. Like, I don't know if you don't ever fucking truly heal. It's like it may feel like it, but I feel like it it lives with you forever, obviously, especially something like that. Man.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially it's inked on my body, you know, so
Yeah.
I'll see it forever too. Yeah, that stuff. You lose somebody, I mean, you'll always remember them.
So what made you? It seemed instinctual that you just kept going. You know, there's always a couple paths you can choose from if something messed up, like a trauma happens in your life, and unfortunately, a lot of people go a different direction. But what drove you to go in the direction of we got to keep going? If there was one thing,
because I already had a couple of songs out that had like 100,000 on SoundCloud, which to me at the time was a lot, you know, and I felt like meeting these people like X, Ski Mask, Rojas, like Tyler Yahweh. We were all staying at the same Airbnb. Elevator was hosting Look at Me on SoundCloud, hit 1 million plays. And that, in terms of now where Look at Me's at, like past billions, I felt like it was only 20 people that showed up to see X and all them. That's how low key they were.
Right.
And we stayed in the Airbnb for like a few days, and I just got to like listen, overhear their conversation. I talked to him a couple times, and we've talked in the DMs too. Like, he was a friend of mine, but just hearing him talk in the Airbnb, I just felt like being surrounded by all, like, because a couple of the people in that room blew up too, you know, including me. I felt like this energy rubs off, man. You surround yourself like him, you know what I mean? Like, you surround yourself with other creative people, other people that have the potential and put in the work for it. You know, yeah, like it might rub off on you and stuff. It puts you in a good position, you know.
Energy's contagious. Energy's contagious for sure.
Especially you guys are in a
spreads around and moves, and you could tell who naturally links up with who and who kind of clicks with who and who does that, because the vibe just comes in, and everybody from that era, everybody from that wave, that time, clicks in some way or another, whether it's something they have in common that they like or something that they have in common from trauma almost. There's a relation point, there's a synchronicity point, and it just, you know, like it's obvious.
It's beautiful.
Right. It's beautiful.
It's fucking beautiful.
Right. And it's an energy exchange that just, it's obvious. You all the same people have it's the energy.
That's why it's not a coincidence when you see, like you're saying, you all kind of came up at the same time, more or less. So it's like that. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
You support each other.
What he said is like dead on, bro. Like exactly like what, like to the T. You surround yourself with. It's all about who you surround yourself with.
Amen.
Negative people, negative shit's gonna happen. Right. Positive people, positive shit's gonna happen. You know what I mean?
It's just crazy that should happen at such a time. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder how different life would be. You know, it happened at a time where really great things were happening, and to get blown up with something like that is like did it add any, what I'm trying to get at is, does it add any kind of weird delay factor? Because I feel like when you get hit with something like that in life, in the midst of something amazing that you were going through professionally, that it might cause a slight delay, and okay, maybe in the idle moments when things slow down, it might hit you, if that makes sense. You just have those first 8-9 months when you lost your best friend. Mm-hmm. You had so much going on. It's like you don't have time to really let that shit digest and marinate. To
keep going and thugging it out.
And then all of a sudden, you have a night where it's like you might get blown up. So, do you remember any moments of really grieving where obviously you were sad?
Yeah,
you told me you cried. You know what I mean?
I remember the first one that got to me was I was living down the street off Flower, my first apartment, when my music was first starting to take off. It was a cool little apartment. You know, I was blessed, grateful that things were starting to go well. I probably had like 200,000 on Instagram compared to like the 4.8 I have now. And sorry, what was the thing?
Just I'm saying, like, I feel like there's a delay factor when.
Oh no, yeah, I'm talking about my bad. Yeah. I didn't get
no
much.
No bad, baby. We're here.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
This is all raw, baby.
Like
no apologies.
Like I said, we don't get much sleep.
Right.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's the delay fact. The delay factor comes from the part of like, you hear the news, but at the same time you got to keep going, and keep going and keep working and processing, and then you got to also do it for them. So it's like, okay, I do need a second to grieve, but in front of everybody else, yeah, I gotta go hard. And then is there that time away from people where that grieving happens?
Yeah,
well, of course,
that's behind the door shit.
And also, I remember what I was gonna say is Gus, Lil Peep. You know, I got that right here. Rest in peace, Lil Peep. I didn't know him personally, but he was a big inspiration to my music, and he changed the world. You know, he changed music. He was the first to go. You know, and my girl at the time, I think her name was like Jessica. It was like late at night. We're smoking weed, probably doing drugs and shit. And she came in and said, you know, Gus died. And I was like, what do you mean Gus? Like, Gus, like, is in, like, Lil Peep. And then I went on the internet. The internet's going crazy. That video of him, you know, Bexy took, thinking, yeah, it was, yeah, it fucked me up. I started crying. I was like, you know, how could we lose Lil Peep? Like, he was just getting started to me, you know. I remember looking at his Instagram when he died. He only had 800,000. That's a lot, don't get me wrong. 800,000 followers is a lot, but like to what he is now, like or would have been, he would have been at like 20 million followers, you know. So yeah, he was still very successful, even in fashion, music, but so much potential lost. And that was the first one. And then I swear to God, then come June, June 18th, I got the Moonlight tattoo for X. Rest in peace, X, you know. Then he died. He was my favorite artist of this past generation. I don't think I cried so much. But I was very upset, terribly upset, very mad, very sad, a lot of emotions. But I was like, man, this shit's just gonna keep happening after, because it was like back to back. I was like, watch, people die in threes. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
The theory? Like, yeah.
Hey, what's up with that?
I don't know. It's like some divine universe, something we're not supposed to know about until we get into the next dimension or wherever we go after this.
But we're all interconnected in some
Our bodies, our bodies are just vessels, man, to the next level, you know.
Yeah, if our bodies are just vessels, then I feel like there's gonna be some dope ass music. Whatever's next.
Yeah. Also, also rest in peace to Juice WRLD too, man. Fucking
there's so much, and it's like,
yeah.
Did you have? I don't know the life you guys lead, and like the same, you know what I mean. But in regards to, I feel like you meet so many new people, especially at a time of coming up, and then that happens. Is it something you guys not hold in, but is it something that usually vocal with in your group? Because I feel like most people aren't. Like, it's not something, like, I growing up had like a deep conversation with my homies when we lost someone. It was kind of like you just move on, keep going. And
I mean, I know what you're talking about. No, yeah, because all my friends are creatives, and either they're my producers or just producers or fashion or cinematography, or yeah, we all talk about it because we're colleagues.
Right.
You know, it's like losing a colleague. You know, so when Lil Peep died, it was like, I'm a SoundCloud rapper. He's a SoundCloud rapper. No matter if he's bigger than me, lesser than me, which he's bigger than me, obviously, you know, and as he should have been. It doesn't matter. It's just losing a colleague too. Yeah. Like, just, you know.
And I feel like,
and a legend and everything that someone could say nice about someone.
Is that a driving force in the sense that you see so many great artists and great people that got their lives cut short and missed out on producing so much more magic for the world? I feel like that's got to keep you even closer with the people you're connected with, including yourself. Yeah, meaning, I don't want that to happen to anyone around me, so I got to check in on them or myself. Therefore, if that's a driving force to like stay right, stay good, stay safe, and so the world, you can share more with the world. You know?
Yeah. Well, especially I had to make sure I was good because me and Juice had a very similar drug addiction in terms of the consumption and because I knew Juice WRLD. I met him in Rotterdam the first time at Wuha Fest and somewhere in Europe.
Netherlands?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Netherlands, in Rotterdam. Yeah, and I met
Surprised
him.
I knew that.
And this is before he was even dating like Ali, you know. And one second. This is before he was even dating Ali, and he was big, but not that big. And I walked up to him and I said, yo, man, your music's fire. Like, you're like gonna be like the biggest shit ever, bro. Like, and he was the nicest. We had a nice conversation. He was the nicest, most humble kid I ever met. Cause I've met some assholes. I mean, you know, in this industry, there's a lot of people that are too cocky and shit. But he was a good kid. And then when I went to the VMAs, he sat in the seat right behind me. It's good to see him again. Adapted up. Forgot the combo. Had another quick little combo, and that was the last time I saw him. And I think he died like a few months later. No, like 6 months later, I think, something like that.
Jesus. Okay, you've been around it more than I honestly more than I thought. What is that? How does that change you? I mean, that's kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, I mean, it changes you in the sense of like, you know, their legacy is gonna live on forever. And we gotta make sure, because we're still here. We all wish, you know, they were still here too, but we're still here, so we gotta go extra hard for them and make sure that their legacy lives on for eternity.
And you're doing that through your music, through the way you live, right?
Through the lifestyle, through everything.
Amen. And I'm happy you got my man to the right over here, Do-Rag Dev, right? Yeah. For everyone listening, this is a nice quick little guest appearance, real quick. So I didn't bring a third mic, so thank you for passing that over. Normally it'd be a little easier.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, you soaked that up. But Do-Rag, right? Can I call you that?
Yeah,
that's straight?
That's cool. Dev, Do-Rag, Dev. Either
I like Do-Rag Dev.
That's got a nice little ring to it.
Ski Mask was the one that actually gave me the nickname Do-Rag Dev.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Ski Mask.
Do-Rag fucking Dev.
I'm assuming Do-Rag was involved.
That's how the Instagram name got to be Do-Rag Dev. So I made the Gucci Do-Rag, and for Travis Scott, the Bape Do-Rags, Goyard Do-Rags.
Jesus.
Those ended up on Travis Paper Magazine, and then Playboy Cardi did one with Gucci Ghost, gave it to him. Then I did VR merch with Ski Mask and Cole Bennett. Went over there, came back, and then did the print, and then did this print for Billie Eilish. Yeah,
I wish I could pick one of those up, but I would look like a complete tool bag wearing that.
I mean, we got something for everybody with the resident collection that's coming. This is the first release.
I like those.
This is the knitwear from the first release, Collection Zero.
I'm feeling Lil Xan's pants right now for everyone that's not watching.
The quality is immaculate.
It's A1. It's A1.
Those are sick.
It's gotta be.
I'm gonna have to pick those up. That's what I like right there.
That's the essential knitwear right there, and we basically transitioned Do-Rag Dev with Luxury, which is like a Japanese English hybrid word for this is luxury. And that just became the energy expression to like motivate people just through something I had, whether it's the light at the end of the tunnel or the beam of the light lifting you up. We are the light.
Oh, damn, you're deep with it. I love that. It has real meaning behind it.
Right. So something to just, like come behind and be that light in the darkness, be that tunnel of light pulling people up.
What drove you to
for the artists and the people, the artists, everyone in the community, people, the people that hit me up on Instagram that want to start a brand, the people that want to figure out how to create, that don't know what to do or don't know how to do it or too scared to do it, or all of those people ultimately, like, they just need that confirmation. Like, there were so many times, even I was on tour with X for the Revenge tour.
That was a legendary tour.
And there was a moment where he was embarrassed to sing. And I came to him like, yo, bro, I really like your singing songs the best. And he was like, you do? And I was like, yeah, I fucking love your singing songs. And he's like, pulls me to the back. We go to the back of the bus. He locks the door, locks everybody off. Next thing you know, we're just back there chilling for like 8 hours, just singing snippets, going through. All he needed was that confirmation that the singing songs were fire. And that ended up to have album 17 just be all slow songs, singing songs.
That's when he started fucking with Shallow Dynasty. Shallow Dynasty got into that, and that's like the whole singing aspect. And those became I like the hard X shit too, like 70. But I also do love the Shallow Dynasty samples. in the singing, like Jocelyn Flores, and it's amazing.
Yeah, and then you gotta take a step back.
Take a step back.
Fucked up. You done thugged.
Yeah, we would be
oh, my bad, son.
No, I don't give a shit. This is next time from here on out. By the way, you just said a press. I'm always bringing 3 mics because this is fantastic.
This is dope. I told you, bro. We do this.
Shit, man. I don't even know where to go from there because no. This is there's no bad. I don't even know because obviously you have some opinions on exactly what we're talking about.
Very intelligent.
Because I was
give him that shit.
I mean, honestly, indeed. I mean, it's just I was on, like, we have that synchronicity because he was going to pick Ski and X up. You know, when they first came in, I ended up making do-rags. Ski Mask was a fan of the do-rags. Then I ended up doing their merch, ended up on that tour. And then I was there for X's shit, and I was in bed for a week crying when X passed. I was on the phone with him that day.
That day?
Yeah. Like, we had plans to go to Japan together. So that to be honest, like, I was hit hard for that one, like, because, like, just like I spent time with him, like, that's how I spent time with X. Like, when we were on a tour bus for 2 months together, so, like, you get close. You get real close.
Literally.
Yeah.
You fight, you like when you're on tour, like, it could be your best friend, like, you fight, you argue, but you make up, and it makes a stronger relationship.
Right. And that happened. And we would have times.
Your brothers.
And then, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it was just like all love. And so when that news came out, like, we had our personal group message and it was just completely silent. And that's how I knew it was real, because no one was saying anything. And nothing kind of needed to be said in a way, but it just, it impacted, like, it was just like, wow, another one, because you already had Peep at that point. Then it was X.
But this one was really close to home, right? I mean...
Right. So for me, this one hit mad close to home because I had been on that tour, designed the merch after, did tours with them after, did this after, so lived a lot of life, did Hollywood hotels, and I think I'm still... all the hotels and studio sessions and this and that. I mean, it was just what we were doing, living, creating with the homies, just creating with the homies. I was making the clothing, making the art. They're making the sonics. It all comes together at that point. And then all of a sudden someone's gone and it's like, what the fuck?
What does that do? I mean, what does that do to you?
I mean, to be honest, it put me in a fucking spiral, and we ended up getting closer because honestly, I went through my own, he went through a spiral, I went through a spiral, had to pull myself back together. I went through a time where I was addicted to things and had problems.
Yeah. We both been through fucked up shit, spirals, drug addictions. I'm 50 days clean today. Though.
Amen, baby.
Right. And same for myself. Like, I'm like happier than ever to be not popping pills or on no crazy shit, like to not be off pain pills and this and that and da-da-da-da, because those were things that were around on tour. And you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the thing. Even with death, it doesn't even, it's like what you go through. That's why it's like, it doesn't have to be about death. It's trauma. It's shit you go through.
Yeah, I mean, we, like, to be honest, in the beginning, you use the drugs to get through the emotional trauma in the first place. Because that's what's really going on is like, yo, I'm trying to process all of this stuff that's going on. And I'm having a hard time trying to process the death going on around me and then still create at the same time.
You want to be like numb to it because it's like you still got to work, but drugs made it easier to like numb it and like forget about it while you still had to do your work. You still had to work. That's in my opinion.
Right. No, and so it's a self-medication technique to numb so that we can continue to create.
And also at the same time,
but it's not the ultimate best method.
Also at the same time, I would use drugs. Let me see real quick. I would use drugs because, like, you know, there's a big false narrative on the internet of me that I'm just like I'm not intellectual. I'm a dumbass. Because a lot of people don't like my music. I have a big fan base, and that's all that matters, like that my fans like my music. Haters, when they comment mean things, used to get to me. And to numb that, I would do drugs. Bad media outage would make me want to do drugs to forget about it. But then I learned that these haters that write comments, they're just 12-year-old kids that are projecting their insecurities that they have onto you because they wish they were you.
Damn.
Right.
What you gotta say about that?
Well, I mean, I don't know about
I just gotta say damn, because the truth is guys, like I'm hearing I'm with your people, and when you get on there and you spread them that negativity, that only brings back more negativity.
It's contagious, like you said.
And it's contagious, like I said. And so, like, that's why it's important to bring the opposite in, bring the fun in, bring the creativity in, bring some light energy in, bring some fresh clothes in, bring some life back into the situation, and try to figure out how to keep going and creating from there.
Amen, dude. Thank you so much.
Told you to put him on the podcast.
I know this might be a longer conversation than I anticipated.
Told you.
No, but I feel like those experiences, especially that with X, that's got to translate to your clothing.
Right.
Creatively, you're expressing it. But in regards to what you said about like you're using it as a way of numbing yourself, and you hit the nail on the head in regards saying I haven't been down that path, so I can't speak on it. All I'm asking is, in lieu of what you just said, that is it not temporary? It's temporary numbing. It's not healing.
Yeah, it's temporary. It honestly is temporary numbing, and it's self-medicating so that you can get through that immediate moment. And you know that it's not a long-term solution, but you might still do it at first because you need to get through that first moment.
Xan, how you feel 50 days in?
50 days? Well, you see how many times I've hit this motherfucking puff? That's how I'm feeling.
But that's better. You know what I mean? But hitting the puff bar,
it curves cravings, and they actually tell you in some. I've been to 7 rehabs in like the last 6 months. They actually encourage you to smoke the first year being sober because it does curve it. But I don't like cigarettes, so this helps a lot. That's why all the comments are gonna be like, "Damn, he hit that like fucking 80,000 times, bro."
Me too.
We'll edit that out and make it like a
no. You can put it in, bro. It's fine. I don't give a fuck.
I don't edit anything, so it's all good.
I'm an open book, bro.
Yeah,
with no pages.
An open book with no pages. I like that one.
I like it.
That sounds like a single right there.
Yeah, open book with no pages. Next album. No pages. Nah, the next album is called Diego. So get ready for that. We changed the name to Diego.
Yeah, what made you do that?
I don't want to. Xanarchy has always been an anti-drug movement, even while I was, under it. I wasn't proud of it, so I didn't want to glorify it, and I still feel like I still like the nickname Xan. I'll always be Xan. Mm-hmm. I think Lil Xan is cringy because Lil Xan. I just think that's cringy. I love the nickname Xan, but this is chapter 2 of my life. I'm 25 now. I'm not 20. I'm not the same person I was back then. I'm not ignorant. I'm responsible. I show up to what I have to do. I make my money. I do what I'm. This next album is good music. Like, even if you don't like Lil Xan music, you're gonna listen to this next album, and you're gonna like Lil Xan music. I'll just put it like that,
Is the besides the name titles, are you shifting in regards to the type of music and what it is?
It is. Just imagine, because they say I'm like one of the founding fathers. Me, Lucky, of mumble rap, like Lucky X, you know what I mean? Like mumble rap. It's like mumble rap, but less mumble, so you can still hear it, But it's like an evolution. The whole production is incredible. The mixing and mastering, the experimenting with my voice, and some auto tune, some pop punk. It's got a little bit of everything, man. The kids are gonna love it.
Honestly, nah, it's fire. He got Tony and deep, and it hits on a different wave. And it's honestly what I was looking forward to seeing from him. And just off what I heard, I was genuinely impressed. Genuinely impressed, yeah.
I love it. When's
Black
that?
Beaming.
What's the time? What's the time? What should we tell them the timeline is on this bad boy?
My birthday, September 6th, the album, Diego. That's my birthday, September 6th.
Well, listen, man, I think it's, I want to thank you for sharing that, just because
Yeah, of course.
You said from 20 to 25, you guys are doing what you're doing so young that you always grow no matter what age, but especially at that pivotal point to your lives, you're just doing it in the public eye. So
yeah, and it's hard to be in the public eye, man. You know, like it's funny too, because like I always get comments saying like, "Oh, you fell off." It's like, one, you're telling me I fell off. You was never on. I loved it. I loved it.
Dropping a diss track too? Or
no, because like I used to get actually upset at those comments, but now I'm just like,
that's growth.
Right. I'm like, what, bro? Right. And the second thing is, you wish you was me, bro. You like, like, oh, you fell off. If I fell off, bro, why do I walk down the street and I take hundreds of pictures still? What the fuck? I don't think I fell off, bro.
The fuck?
The hell?
Wait every 2 seconds.
Yeah, like why am I still selling out shows? Why am I?
Well, you're gonna prove it with your actions. The next album.
Actions speak louder than words, and I don't want people to think I'm cocky. This is confidence, and it's me being tired of the internet creating this false narrative that I'm the worst rapper, or I mean, not say worst, say bad rapper, or an airhead, or irresponsible. This is chapter 2. And we all have to grow up, and I'm growing up really fast.
Well, you said you had a book with no pages. You're just writing them now, so
yeah, I'm actually writing.
See some pages filled up.
Yeah, I'm actually writing a book.
No shit.
It's called Before I Forget.
No shit.
I think it's funny because Lil Xan, Xanax, Before I Forget, and it's gonna be like a memoir of all the fun stories throughout touring. My celebrity friends that I've chilled with and had conversations with, and it's Before I Forget, and it's gonna be before I Forget chapter 1, because the story is not over.
Right.
It's just beginning, dude. That's why that's a good kind. I want to be respectful of your time. So, in regards to transitioning and fading out to it, the story is just beginning, and I want it to be a very long book for both of y'all.
Yes.
And what we just discussed, what would you say in regards to, let alone just people that are listening, but artists, literally it's anyone that we're kind of not afraid of, but you're saying earlier how people are dying and you're saying it's going to continue to happen. What would you say to these people to keep it together and just to check in on each other and just stay strong through shit everyone's going through?
I mean, it sounds like cheesy and like the shit that everybody always says, but check. You never know. Like, some of the times I was the most depressed, people thought I was the happiest, because, you know, people hide their depressions and shit. And so just always check in on your friends. Always let your friends and family know how much they're loved. And, you know, it's another thing that sounds cheesy, but it's real. It gets better. And just be patient. There's lots of outlets for help, you know. Anybody can slide in my DMs, and if they need to talk, I reply to a lot of my requested DMs, and hit me up. And then if you need some advice, you're going through something, hit them up too. At DuragDev adds anxiety for me.
There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And if you can't find it, buy his motherfucking apparel.
Yeah. Also mine too, when it comes back. We're bringing Xanarchy. Xanarchy's still popping.
I need to get suited up. I came in my goddamn white tee.
It's all good. Xanarchy.
Don't get the Luxwall upgrade.
The Luxwall upgrade.
Yeah.
It's still a big movement, but the clothing's coming back times 16. Actually, no, times 1,400.
Times 1,400.
1,400. What the fuck going on? Shout out Trippie Redd. You know I like Trippie Redd because he was one of the only rappers when I was in the hospital like hit me up, check.
Checked in on you?
Yeah.
For real?
Shout out Trippie, man.
Real for that.
Yeah.
That's a real move.
Trippie's
That's how you know you got the real ones around you. That's important. You said in the beginning, it's who you gotta be a little more careful sometimes about the people you surround yourself with, because that equates.
Keep your circle. What is it? Keep your circle.
Keep your circle a square.
No, keep your shit tight like a Cheerio.
Ooh.
Or keep your circle small like I don't fucking know.
What about honey nut? I like a honey nut Cheerio.
Keep your circle small like a Cheerio. I don't know.
don't know either.
And it'll lower your cholesterol. I think that's what he's getting at, right?
It's got a lot of multivitamins in it too, bro.
I have to fact check that one. I'm not sure about Cheerios.
I don't know about
I know it lowers your cholesterol. That's all I got. Yeah.
I don't know about the promotion, the nutritional effects. Of
Cheerios. Okay, Cheerios will not be a sponsor most likely, but if they do, he's gonna cut you in.
Thank you.
Yeah, but dude, Dan, I want to thank you so much for making this happen.
Yo, thank you, man.
Dude, thank you for this, dude. That was a blessing.
Yo, thank you for letting me come on here as well,
dude. For real,
yeah, you brother.
For real,
of course, man. This is my brother right here, bro. Thank y'all, man. I appreciate you guys. This was a dope episode. God, I got it. That's his Anarchy handshake.
There we go. We'll cut that up.
Handshake now.
All right, y'all. Lil Xan, Do-Rag Steve. Dev. Jesus, you're a Steve. I want to say Steve.
No, he's Do-Rag Steve. Do-Rag Dev.
Do-Rag Dev, Lil Xan. Thank you guys for joining.
Lil Xan, Lil Xan, Diego's Anarchy. Hey!
We out. Thank y'all.
Hey! We're about to go smoke a blunt.
Right. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Dead Talks. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell. That'll give you updates as to when we post a new video, more episodes, and more content in general. We are streaming on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and all that. And also find us on Instagram at Dead Talks Podcast or www.deadtalks.net. Thank you so much.